Hello, thanks for joining a new video. Today I'm unboxing the Nubia Neo 35 grams. Let's begin. This particular device is specifically targeted at gamers. It's important not to confuse it with the Nubia Neo GT3 5G. Focus on the letters GT because that will differentiate one model from the other. This is somewhat simpler compared to the GT edition. However, regardless of this, it remains. It's geared towards gamers offering a more affordable price point. In this particular case, we are referring to 5,499 pesos at its launch in Mexico. On the screen, you can see the reference price in dollars, but do keep in mind that prices here differ from those over there. Up next, we will proceed to take the device out of its box so that we can get familiar with it a bit more. Here, from its primary packaging, we are being shown some of the most notable features that stand out, like its dual triggers, among others, a fast charging system, and RAM and storage. Soon, I'll tell you the rest of the specifications so you can get to know it better. For the moment, let's go ahead and remove it from this packaging, allowing you to become more familiar with it. Pay attention to the back and don't forget, a lot like the Nubia or Neo 2, the design will be quite similar. In just a moment, we'll see if it includes any lighting features or something similar, or if it's simply the lid's decoration. While it powers up, how about we look at contents of the box that will be interesting to analyze. First, we find using the key to take out the SIM card tray. Then this exclusive VIP service experience of the region known as Nubia, which this device is a part of. And then the quick start guide, paper of a lifetime. Finally, we find the holster, which luckily is included. Note, like the Red Magic device cases, it's a hard plastic case here, so it's not entirely flexible, nor is it fully transparent. It's important to note that there is some degree of blurring present. Additionally, the corners are reinforced, but we are not going to find that it will protect a large portion of the frame. So it's a different level of protection, but either way, help. I would defend it, particularly to keep the trigger area and this area clear. The left frame, I believe that if there were a fall, I would have the capability to defend it effectively. Tell me if you'd use this device with a case or without a case. Aesthetically, there's not much difference. So in this particular case, I would definitely recommend using it with a holster. However, let's take a look at what else is included here. Inside the box, we can find the charger along with the cable. Observe that this charger has a modern design because it features a USB-C connector, unlike many devices still using USB-A. In this price range, it's valued as it offers a much more modern. It's a 33-watt charger. Remember, you must use the original cable if you wish to enjoy charging fully as fast as possible. That's what we see here in the box for now. Why don't you come and join me down below so we can have the opportunity to get to know each other better. This device's specs. We already have the input device set up and ready to go. As you may be aware, Nubia has a strong and close partnership with Telcel for these devices in this range, so it includes many widgets and Telcel bloatware. Notice the numerous pre-installed apps and games. Even on the lock screen, there's something I personally find annoying. We'll see ads first of all, and then when you attempt to swipe over to this side, you'll notice sponsored news popping up, along with an overwhelming amount of spam, which is just far too much for my liking. Luckily, you can somehow disable this. Let's go to give it a try. We proceed to customize, and it opens yet another advertisement before it finally lets us turn this off. Let's take a look here in config. Let's check if it's doable. Well, it appears that in this particular situation, it is not feasible to eliminate all of this spam, or at least it seems that the process will be quite complex and challenging. So it seems that we have no choice but to keep that unsightly home and lock screen that is constantly present here. Personally, that's something that bothers me about Telcel. With some brands that has too close collaboration, I think they are very intrusive. But well, regardless of that, let's now know the specifications of the cell phone. It comes with a thickness of plus or minus 8.5 millidim and weighs more or less 209G. I say more or less because the manufacturer does not communicate the precise data of these parameters. The screen measures 6.8 inches diagonally and features an HD resolution. With a 120 Hz refresh rate, we're viewing a display that honestly doesn't stand out. Actually, we might say that, which is a screen. Due to the resolution, it will be quite simple. Additionally, it's an IPS panel. Thus, it doesn't provide us with amazing viewing angles. I believe that the majority of screens on other devices will appear more attractive and appealing in every possible aspect. Fortunately, it also has stereo sound with a speaker on the bottom and another speaker in the earpiece area for calls. It's not that high quality sound. In fact, it stands out quite a bit at mid frequencies, but it is a sound, very loud. Therefore, for those who play games, it will likely provide a really good and expansive sound experience. since this device targets gamers. It notably features touch triggers on the frame, enabling virtual buttons during gameplay, true to Red Magic style. This is its standout feature in my opinion, because within this category, no other device can offer you anything quite like this. The front camera boasts a remarkable 16 megapixels, featuring an f2.0 aperture and fixed focus. Let's take a look at the preview and the picture taken. Clearly the preview lacks good optimization. After that it balances highlights and shadows well, but the detail level isn't spectacular. On the back there's a 50 megapixel main camera with an f1.8 aperture and autofocus, along with a 2 megapixel depth camera. Clearly it's not designed for photography as the color representation isn't accurate, offering slightly warmer tones than usual. The camera interface offers a 3x zoom shortcut, suggesting optical quality is maintained. As you know, we're discussing fully digital zoom, so don't think that having the 81mm shortcut here will keep optical quality, but hey, these are interface details. Let's remember that it is not a device aimed at those who like to take pictures too much. In fact, for video recording we will have P as the highest quality. Luckily, the front camera offers the same quality. The battery capacity is 5200 mAh, with support for charging at 33 watts using a cable. In this situation, a notable feature for gamers is that it includes this charge separation function, which lets you use your phone while it's charging. Without any energy flowing through the battery, it remains stable and does not degrade over time. Faster compared to traditional cell phones. Therefore, this represents another appealing aspect that gamers might be able to take advantage of. Gamers. Furthermore, it includes the 80% charge lock feature, which helps you maintain your battery's health effectively. Overall, I believe the battery will stand out as one of its most impressive strengths. By the way, the device has side fingerprint reader, which I had forgotten to mention to you. And it comes with Android 15, although it lacks an update policy. Other positive aspects include the RAM memory and storage capacity since, as you notice, we have 8 GB of physical RAM memory, plus the option to add virtual memory, which I personally do not recommend, and we also have 256 GB of storage. Storage space, internal, performing well on both. Lastly, it has a Unisoc T8300 processor, that in name, and might actually sound more advanced compared to the last generation, nevertheless are quite similar. Recall the previous generation. It featured Unisoc T. Here, Geekbench numbers show 886 on single core and 2019 on multi-core, meaning it's a bit less powerful than last generation. I really don't understand this change. I believe it'll hurt it a lot. In conclusion, if you find the Nubia Neo 2 still available, it will surely be on promotion and will be a better buy than this Nubia Neo 3, which is very similar in many ways. But it takes steps backwards in others. In Antutu got 478,541 points, if you can use the data as a reference. But remember, in the complete video review, we will have more tests and more data about this device. For now, it has only been a first look to get to know it and to know what comes included in its box. If you enjoyed, let us know. See you next time.